Hello, welcome and thank you for joining us today for the next webinar in our What's New series. In today's webinar, we'll cover some of the newest features in Microsoft 365 that you can implement in your business, as well as covering some brand new features that give us a bit of an insight into the future. Don't feel like you need to take notes or take it all in straight away, as we'll be sending out a recording of the webinar and a follow-up fact sheet later today. Also, if you have any questions, please do feel free to drop those into the Q&A box at the side at any time. And there will also be dedicated time for questions at the end of the webinar too. So let's take a look at the agenda for today. In today's webinar, we'll be looking at a new form submit option for Microsoft Lists. We'll be looking at optimized content sharing for Teams meetings. There's an update to SharePoint visual organization, plus new document signing integration as well. We'll be looking at security labels for external meeting participants in Teams. And there's a roundup of all the latest Copilot features that are coming soon. Finally, we'll be taking a look at what's next. So whether that's just letting you know when the next webinar in this series is, or letting you know how you can go about implementing some of these things, perhaps with Bedroq's help, we'll let you know what are the steps you need to take in your organisation. So a quick welcome for those of you who might not have joined us before. It's good to see so many people once again back to, we like seeing the same people coming back over and over again to this webinar series. So really good to see you, but as well, welcome to the new people. My name is Jennifer Benge and I am the marketing lead at Bedroq. Bedroq is an IT managed service provider and Microsoft solutions partner for modern work. This means that most of the IT we implement is based on the Microsoft stack. So this includes all the apps that you use on a day-to-day basis, such as Word, Excel, etc., but also includes things like Teams, Azure, SharePoint, all of those good Microsoft solutions. We're also experts in secure, resilient networks and managed IT solutions where high performance is critical. So this means that we work with organisations that have some of the highest security requirements in the UK. We manage mission critical IT and operational technology for highly regulated organisations. The most important thing we want to achieve, no matter what your organisation does, is to make sure that your IT strategy is supporting your business as a whole. So we do this with the help of our 8 rocks. These, as you can see on the screen here, are data, skills, backup, strategy, investment, security, quality of service, and collaboration. The collaboration rock is the focus of this webinar series, as at their hearts, Microsoft 365 solutions are collaboration tools. We find that a lot of people have Teams and all these Microsoft apps within their business, but they're perhaps not using them to their full capacity and therefore not getting the most out of their investment. That's why we set up this series, just to make sure that you get the latest information about all the features that you could be using, that you've already bought, but you're perhaps not aware of yet. And we just want to make sure that you're getting the most out of that investment. Okay, so let's get started. The first update that we're looking at today is an update to Microsoft Lists. I know there's a fair few of you that have joined us before that do use Microsoft Lists, so this is definitely of interest to you. List owners and collaborators with editing rights will soon be able to gather information into your lists using updated lists forms. You will be able to update and create these forms quickly and share them via a link. All the form responses are then collated into the list, which you and other collaborators can view and refine. You'll be able to create and manage multiple forms for the same list, which will allow you to collect different information from separate groups of people potentially, or perhaps the same group of people, but just over a different period of time. So to do this, within Microsoft Lists, click Forms, which is in the top menu. This will bring up the box that you can see on the screen here. The form builder will give you space to type out the questions you want people to answer, which will then use fields from the list itself. So you have your list with all the fields that you need to be completed, and the form will automatically give you checkboxes of the fields that you want to include within this specific form. It will also allow you to choose from some preset themes and settings, so you can get the look that you want within your form without having to go into too much detail at designing it yourself. You can just pick from a preset option there. When you're ready, you can then select the Send Form menu item in the sidebar, which will give you a link that you can copy and share with whoever you need to. All responses submitted will instantly appear as new items on your list, which you and other collaborators can then view and refine. This means that you can make sure people are able to concentrate on filling in the information that you need from them, rather than getting distracted by seeing the full list. You can set up as many forms as you like for the same list. So, for example, you could use the same list for an event and use different forms for pre and post event to collect information from attendees, and then to also collect their feedback after the event has taken place. That's just a quick example. Obviously, there's loads of different scenarios that you could use this for, with different lists and different forms depending on what you're trying to achieve. You can stop accepting form responses whenever you like, so you're completely in control of the time window in which the list can be updated. The people responding to the form will see something like the screenshot on the left. It will just give them simple boxes that they need to fill in, and then a submit button when they're ready to submit. The form can be completed on a desktop or mobile browser after logging in with your usual Microsoft account details. The form responses will then appear in the list as list items, as shown in the screenshot on the right. So we're expecting this update to come around any time between mid-March and late April. So keep an eye out for it if you think this could be a useful solution for you. It should be coming around the end of the month. Okay, next new feature that we're going to be looking at today. Microsoft Teams is introducing a new feature that allows users to manually optimize screen sharing for video clips. So this feature what the aim is to reduce lag and enhance video playback quality during Teams meetings. So you know how sometimes if someone's trying to share a video with you or play a video during a presentation, it can get a bit stuttery, it can pause, there can be kind of problems with the audio and visual aspects. The aim of this is to optimize and prevent that from happening. So if automatic detection fails or is delayed, presenters can manually select Optimize for playing video from the presenter toolbar menu. This ensures the smooth playing of their content. So this feature provides a solution for instances where automatic optimization might not function as expected. So Teams is doing some work in the background to try and optimize that video content that you're sharing. But just in case that's not working to the quality that you want it to, you will have this manual override option as well, just to optimize for that video function. So again, similar to the last feature that we just looked at, this is due anytime from mid to late March. So keep an eye out for that if you're regularly sharing videos within your Teams meetings or your presentations, and you think that this could be a useful feature for you. Just while we're on that as well, you can see in the drop-down menu on the screen, there is the include sound option. This happens time and time again. If you are including a video that does need sound during your presentation, make sure that you select that option as you share it. Otherwise, the video will play and there'll just be no sound and you'll have to start again. So just something to bear in mind. That's not a new feature, but I thought as it's on the screen there, just highlight it as well. Okay. Next up, we're going to SharePoint to look at some updates there. So we do have a couple of SharePoint updates today. The first one is a slightly more technical option, and we'll need your global administrator or your SharePoint administrator in Microsoft 365 to do some setup before this is completely available to you. admins will be able to provide custom list templates for users in your organisation. So with this change, these tools support the creation of document library templates and list templates. In the screenshot on the left, you can see what the end user will see. So there will be visual button options for a range of templates you set up. This will make it much easier for your organisation to set a standard around how document libraries should be set up, hopefully making it much easier to find things no matter who set up the document library originally. This update's due anytime now, and as I said, it will mean that you need a Microsoft administrator to set some things up for you, to just do a little bit of coding to decide which templates you want to be visible. So if that's of interest, we'll happily share the link with you to either do yourself or forward to your administrator. And this will just help you have a visual set of templates that anyone can use. Another update, which is coming soon, which I know will make things easier for a few of you, because I know for sure you use signing software. This is an Adobe Sign. This is an integration that means Adobe Sign and DocuSign will both be getting integrated into SharePoint e-signature. SharePoint users who are also Adobe Sign or DocuSign customers will be able to initiate e-signatures directly from PDF documents. So it's important to note this isn't something that you'll get as standard within SharePoint if you aren't already a subscriber to one of those pieces of software. So either Adobe Sign or DocuSign, you'll need to be a customer of one of those separately. But what this integration does is just means it brings everything into SharePoint for you. So SharePoint users who are also Adobe Sign or DocuSign customers will be able to initiate e-signatures directly from their PDF documents. The e-signature request will be processed by whichever signing software you use, and a copy of the signed document will be automatically saved in SharePoint after signing. This reduces the risks of potential data leakage that customers often report as they move sensitive documents between SharePoint and third-party e-signature platforms. So this is something, we even at Bedroq, we face this fairly often, is in order to use a program like Adobe Sign, you have to bring your document out, download it from SharePoint, send it via Adobe Sign, and then re-upload it into SharePoint so you've got a copy of those signatures. This just aims to remove that hassle and also that security risk by keeping everything completely inside of SharePoint at all times. So, as I said, this reduces the risks of potential data leakage that customers often report when they move sensitive documents between SharePoint and third-party e-signature platforms. Manual download or upload of documents will no longer be required when initiating the request or when saving signed documents back to SharePoint for long-term storage. So again, it's just keeping everything within that secure environment within SharePoint. So you're not downloading it in order to then upload to DocuSign or Adobe Sign to send on for a signature. And you're also then not having to re-upload it to SharePoint once you have those signatures. Everything will just be within SharePoint itself, and you can keep everything safe and secure and organized as well in there. You're not sort of worrying about, did I re-upload that signed copy? Where have I kept that downloaded copy? Everything's in one place. You've got the one version of the document, and everyone will know where to find it then. So I think this is not only a really useful update, but also a great update in terms of security as well. And as I said, I know loads of you will be using those kind of e-signing softwares, so definitely something to look out for and start using, I think, just to improve your own data security as well. Someone said, can we send that link for the SharePoint templates? Absolutely. Well, I'll make sure that's included with the download of the webinar later today when we send it out. So happy to do that. Next up, we have security labels in Teams. So we're kind of sticking with the theme of security that we just talked about with the Adobe Sign. So I think this, again, is a really useful feature that's come as a little bit of a surprise. I think it's quite a sudden update that we've got, but I think it will be really useful. So this is an update that will help your data security in Teams. There will be a new label added to the options for meeting attendees. So in order to bring consistency and accuracy to the user labels, Microsoft are introducing the term unverified, which will be seen for all meeting participants who do not have a trusted relationship with the organizer. This means that all meeting attendees will be identifiable by one of three options. So probably the most common option that you'll have in this list is no label at all. So all participants who are part of the organizer's organization will have no label at all. So say it's a meeting within Bedroq. If I am just meeting other Bedroq colleagues, they won't have any label because we're all part of the same organization, and I don't need to know if they're from an external place because they are Bedroq colleagues. So that's probably the most common feature that you'll see. The next label will be external. This is the one that already exists at the moment. At the moment, any participant who isn't part of your organisation is labelled as external. The change here is that with this update, only participants who have a trusted relationship with the organiser or their organisation will get that external label. So they're people that have been that you've worked with them before, you know who they are, they're just part of a different organization, but they do have a trusted relationship with you or your organization. They will get that external label. All other participants will be given the unverified label. So this is the new one that's coming with this update. So this will include Microsoft Entra ID users who belong to organisations that do not have explicit external access set up with the organiser's organisation. It will include Microsoft personal account users or users who are not using any form of Microsoft ID when joining meetings. So I think this is a useful update because if you're running really large meetings where you're not necessarily going to know everyone by name who's in that meeting, it will allow you just to quickly scan down that list and see how many people that you've got in there who are unverified, who don't have that trusted relationship with your organisation. Perhaps then, once you've got that knowledge, you've seen that there are a few unverified users in there, it might prompt you to think about the kind of data that you're sharing during that meeting. So it's not going to stop those people attending. Those unverified people are still allowed to attend. Obviously, someone has invited them to be there, otherwise they wouldn't be able to get in. So there is probably a reason for them being there. I think it's just a good prompt to think about kind of your own data security in knowing the difference between people who are within your organisation, people who are external to your organisation but do have a trusted relationship, and then that third group of people who you don't necessarily know very well, they don't have that trusted relationship yet, and you can just consider what kind of information you should be sharing with that group. So that's coming soon as well. I know it's been rolling out gradually. Some people have already seen it and it's come as a bit of a surprise, as I said, because we didn't even get the heads up that this was coming, but I think it will be a good feature. So just when that happens during your meetings, you'll know who they are and why that's happening. Okay, we've got a couple of Copilot updates as well to cover this month. I know not everyone is a Copilot user, so I'm going to try and keep this feature kind of shorter within these webinars, just to make it relevant, to make sure the webinar content is as relevant as possible for everyone. But I know that a lot of you are also really interested in hearing these Copilot updates. So the first Copilot update that we've got is a new Copilot experience in Microsoft Teams chat. So if you have a Copilot for Microsoft 365 license, you will see a new Copilot app pinned above your chats. This improved version of the Copilot app offers additional benefits over the app formerly known as Microsoft 365 Chat. So this will include things such as improved prompts with details relevant to you, e.g., it could include details of people that you work with, your meetings, your files, etc. Perhaps it will give you a prompt to say, you have this meeting coming up today, here's what I think you should do to prep for it, that kind of thing. It will allow you to view your Copilot chat history, and it will give you access to a library of prompts via Copilot Lab. So I think that's something really useful as well, because we've started using Copilot within Bedroq, and it's actually really useful sometimes to look at that library of prompts, because you're not immediately going to know how to get the best out of Copilot. That's always the thing with these adopting of new technologies. You don't straight away know how to use them well, and that can put some people off if they're not able to immediately get that value out of it. So definitely I would recommend, if you do have people starting to use Copilot, make sure that they are using the prompts, doing some of the free training that Microsoft is offering, to really have a look at how they can make it work for them. Otherwise, it's very easy with any new technology just to say, I can't be bothered, it's not working for me, I'm not doing it. So definitely, to improve your adoption rates, I would recommend using those free prompts and those free training courses as well. So this capability has rolled out. It's available now for users with a Microsoft 365 Copilot license. The other Copilot update, which is coming soon, this one's not quite available yet, is updates within sharing within Word for the web. So if you have a Copilot from Microsoft 365 license and you are sharing a Word document from within Word for the web, you will soon be able to include an AI generated document summary of the Word document. So this document summary is included in the share notification email sent to the recipients, as seen in the screenshot here. So I think this will be really useful, actually. Often you get documents shared with you and it's just the title. You don't get much out of the title unless the person sharing it has also sent a separate email saying what the document is about. The fact that this will be just done automatically by AI, giving a short summary of that document, will save time on both ends. So the sender won't have to write that summary themselves, and the person receiving this shared document won't have to kind of read the entire document to know what it's about first. So this update is due between mid to late March, so probably not quite available yet. I know it's not for us yet, but do keep an eye out if you are a Copilot user as well. Okay, so those are the new features that we had to cover today. I just wanted to give you a quick heads up of the next webinar in this series, which will take place on the 4th of April. So Cara has shared a link in the chat box with the details and the sign up form for that. So if you'd like to join us again on the 4th of April, please do click on that link and just fill in your forms as usual, and you'll be able to join us again there. Hope to see you in April for the next webinar. And the other what's next kind of step for you is, if you found some of these features, if they sound useful to you, or perhaps it's prompted you to think, I think there's probably other elements of our Microsoft licensing that we're not getting best value out of, or perhaps the IT strategy that we've got isn't getting us the best value as a business, then Bedroq do offer a stakeholder workshop, which we call the 8 Rocks assessment. This is designed to get consensus on your priorities as a business. So we can conduct this face-to-face or virtually, and it just helps you to get aligned between all of your leadership team to decide the best way to solve your IT issues, address cost savings, and decide on where perhaps your next investment should go. There's no cost implications to doing this with us, other than a mutual investment of time. So if you think that this could be a useful next step for your business, please do reach out and we'd be happy to tell you how to get that booked in, and look forward to working with you on that. Okay, we've got a little bit more time for some questions today, so I'm going to quickly look through the ones that have come in, and please do feel free to add any other questions that you have while we're here. If later today, when you're reviewing the webinar recording or looking at the fact sheet, actually you do come up with another question, or there's something else you'd like to know about another aspect of Microsoft 365, please do feel free to just email us back and we'll be happy to answer any other questions then as well. So someone's asked, is e-signature an alternative to DocuSign? No. So e-signature within SharePoint will rely on you having either Adobe Sign or DocuSign as a separate license already. So it's not, I'm afraid it's not a case of you can chuck out those subscriptions. I'm afraid you'll have to keep those ones going. It's just that they will be better integrated into the SharePoint environment just to improve your security and improve your sort of organization of where those documents are kept. So yeah, they're not alternatives, they're just working alongside the software you probably already have. Someone's asking about the Microsoft Forms feature. So do you know if we can limit the responses to users within our organization, or is it open to anyone with the link? That's an interesting question, Chris. As far as I know, anyone who receives the link will be able to fill in that form. So if you worry about kind of people clicking on it, if it's in a public place or people sharing the link with others who you don't want responses from, that's something I would have to look into for you, whether you can restrict that option. Happy to do that, and we'll follow up with you, Chris, on that separately. Okay, just a reminder as well, these webinars are all recorded and saved on our YouTube channel. So if you would like to catch up with any of the previous webinars that we've done, especially, you know, we've done loads of content on Copilot over the past year or so as each of the new features has been getting released. So please do feel free to search for us on there. We're Bedroq IT, and just search for us, find our channel, and you'll be able to catch up on a whole back catalogue of these webinars for all the features that you may have missed along the way. Okay, I think that is everything that we've got for today. So last for me to say is thank you for joining us, everyone. I hope to see you again in April, and enjoy the rest of your week. Thank you very much. Goodbye.